You're listening to the What the Wrestling Podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is.
Perfect.
We back, baby, with the smacketh of the Down and the Rampage reviews. But before we get into all of that, y'all already know, check out my socials. Follow me, RJD. RJ699 on Twitter, RJD199 on Snapchat. But most importantly, follow What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Follow What the Wrestling on Spotify and Anchor. Let's go! Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. Once again, I am your host, RJD, and man, Smackdown, hot opening, a little bit confusing, but it was good. Rampage had a good show. I got candles, it smells good in here. It's a beautiful thing. And it's not cold outside, which is great for the Northeast. But before we get into everything, hit the goddamn like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel What the Wrestling. If you missed it, hit the rewind button, then click it, and then subscribe. HBO, help a brother out. Shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast. I think that is one of the greatest acronyms I've ever heard. HBO, man, help a brother out. Just a few short things beforehand. I don't know what the hell happened with my Dynamite review.
You stupid.
For some reason, they just decided not to upload. And it was like, you know what? We're not uploading today.
Nope.
So, F your goddamn podcast. I don't care. So, I'm going to re-upload that.
Emotional damage.
I'm going to re-upload that tomorrow along with the news. Today, I'm going to do Smackdown. Tomorrow, I'll do that. And then we'll get this thing popping. Don't know why the hell I had like 3 people ask me, yo, what the hell happened to the goddamn Dynamite review? I have no idea, bro. I uploaded it. They didn't want to upload. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So, coming out tomorrow, giving you my thoughts on it. Full Gear is almost upon us next week. So, that's a good thing. Let's give it up for Full Gear. So, tomorrow, on Sunday, I will upload that with the news for the week. But first, Smackdown. Smackdown was in Indianapolis, if I'm not mistaken. Go back to Indianapolis. This crowd was great.
Perfect.
Let's give them a Don DeMarco.
Don DeMarco.
Thank God they were in Indy. This was a great crowd. They got hyped for everything except for some shit in the middle. But I really like this. We had the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match first. Usos versus the New Day. And let me just say, this was a great match and went through 2 commercial breaks. We had back and forth early. then the Usos getting the better of the New Day in the middle. And in the end of the match, we had a huge near fall where there was a double splash by the Usos, and Mr. Woods kicked out, which was shocking to me. I did not expect him to kick out after 2 double super kicks. Then we had, I think, Jay throwing Woods through the barricade or over the barricade, and then we had a super 1D onto Kofi, and that was all she wrote. The Usos retain their undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This was a fantastic match, great TV match, and the reason why I liked it so much is because there were high stakes. Not only were the chip involved, the championships, but the longest reigning tag team champions streak, 400 whatever days, was on the line as well. And if the New Day lose, they stop the Usos on top of getting the championship. I think that is fantastic. It made me more invested. I'm sure it made the crowd more invested. When things are invested, people give a shit. So let's keep that up, okay?
Perfect.
Great. So the only thing I didn't like is
Stupid.
where the hell was Sami Zayn? I want my Sami Zayn on TV. I'm not the only one. The crowd chanted, "Where is Sami Zayn? Where's we want Sammy," or something like that. We want Sami Zayn. The best part of the bloodline is Sami Zayn, goddammit. This guy has gotten himself over after being treated like crap by Jay. Jay don't like him. He's earned the trust of the people and the tribal chief, okay? No Sami Zayn on this show. I think there were some personal reasons why he wasn't there. It is what it is. We got Usi chants. We got We Want Sami Zayn chants. We want Sami Zayn, goddammit. So I think he had to handle some personal stuff, so he wasn't on the show. That's fine. But Sami Zayn is one of the best parts of this whole storyline has been the Sami Zayn rise to prominence, the honorarius. So to not see him there, it did take away from it for me. It did. Later on in the show, well, the next segment was them going backstage. Roman said, "Listen, I got some business I got to take care of tonight. I need all y'all with me." So the end of the show, the main event came, and Mr. Roman went out there and he said, "Listen, it's hard being my cousin. Everybody expects greatness from me. But you know what? You guys proved your worth." And he was about to acknowledge Jimmy and Jay. Finally.
Respect my authority.
But then they got interrupted by the Brawling Brutes.
Stupid.
And then the mic didn't even. No, let me not make a mistake.
Stupid.
Rich Holland said, "You know what? Tired of you guys having a numbers game. I've got backup now." And then the backup was Sheamus, fresh off of getting married, baby. Shout out to Sheamus. Give him a Don DeMarco for getting married.
Dom DeMarco.
Fresh off of getting married, he was like, "Listen." He started saying something, couldn't hear him, the mic cut off. Then he said, "You know what, Roman?" Looked like a damn one of them old school Japanese flicks or one of them old school Chinese flicks from like when I was a kid, where they had it translated in English, but the mouth was still moving. That's what it looked like. So it was like
Stupid.
Roman, thinking quick on his feet, he said, "Bro, you can't even get the mic to work. What are you gonna do?" So he started laughing. Everybody, the crowd started laughing. They went in there. They had themselves a good brawl. They got the better of them. But then Drew McIntyre's music hits. And after Drew's music hit, they started brawling. And literally, they went off the air with the brawl. Now, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of upset because I thought I was getting Sami Zayn after that. And I was like, "Yeah, here comes Sami." And the crowd would have went crazy if he would have just came in and haluva kicked the shit out of Drew McIntyre. Just haluva kick straight to your face, buddy. But that did not happen. No Sami Zayn on the show. But this is War Games. War Games is getting set up. It's going to be the Bloodline versus probably everybody that has pissed off. Everybody the Bloodline is pissed off. So I'm pretty sure the last member is going to be Kevin Owens. So that should be a fantastic match. And you know what? If they want to, they could have the Bloodline lose because of Sami, and that would be the dissension of Sami Zayn in the Bloodline to where he begins to start effing up, and they start treating him like shit, and then we really want to get behind him, and he becomes a huge star because Sami Zayn is great. So that was the beginning and ending of the show. Very good beginning. Ending was kind of weird because it was a brawl. It was kind of flat. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of flat. So it is what it is. SmackDown to me is very, very enjoyable. Probably neck and neck with AEW compared to what is the most enjoyable wrestling show right now. Monday Night Raw is 10 times better than it was during Vince McMahon's era. But the problem with Monday Night Raw is it's regressed a little bit, and it's still 3 hours. If it was a 2-hour show and the stories were a little bit better than the past couple of weeks, I would have something different to say about it, but it has stepped back. It's stepped back a little bit. No lie. It has. It is what it is, though. What else do we have? We have the Smackdown World Cup Tournament. We had a first round here. We had a couple of first round matches here today. Do I like tournaments? Yes. Do I think this tournament's going to be good? Yes. But I think I already know who's going to win, and 50-50 on that. But we'll see what happens. Santos Escobar versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Santos wins with a phantom driver from the second rope. I liked this match. It was good, but unfortunately, Shinsuke, what the hell are they doing with him? Now he will be going to Japan to fight the Great Muta. They did make a light of it. They did talk about these two's prior history, and I think CMLL, which is crazy because Vince would have never done that. But listen, we are in a different time. So I will say, I don't know what they're doing with Shinsuke, but he's got something coming up, so cool. Santos, you got to build him up. If Legato's going to get over on the main roster, which they should, as bad guys, you got to let them live. You got to let them live and give them some good, credible wins. I like this. Bray Wyatt came out of nowhere when LA Knight was having a backstage interview, and it ended up with LA Knight getting headbutted by Bray Wyatt. So that's going to be his first feud. LA Knight, yeah, he's going to be taking the loss. 99.9999999% sure that's going to happen. We had a 6-pack challenge. Shotzi, Lacey Evans, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, Raquel Rodriguez, and Xia Li. Shout out, matter of fact, stop show. Shout out to all my veterans. I know quite a bit of veterans, and I just want to say, I know Veterans Day was yesterday, but as you can see, I'm doing this a day later. Shout out to all the veterans. Thank you for your service. I know a shitload of veterans, and all of y'all, much love. You all have my respect. You all deserve a lot more than you get, especially in some cases that I know very, very personally. Shout out to all you guys that I know that are veterans. Don DeMarco for you. From What the Wrestling. Straight up. Now, back to the show. Shout out to Lacey Evans. She is a veteran. They wiped the dust off her, put her in this match, and then they're probably going to put her back on the shelf. And Lacey Evans is actually decent in the ring. She can actually wrestle. They just got to give her something to get her teeth into, and I think she'll be good. Then maybe she'll get over. So we'll see. We had a big boy botch here.
Surprise, motherfucker.
So Raquel Rodriguez takes out a table. She's going to put somebody through it. I think Sonya Deville. And Liv Morgan tries to jump the barricade and the announce table to jump on Raquel to put her through the table. It was a weird angle, first and foremost. So,
Nope.
And then she totally, I guess she mistimed the jump, or she didn't have enough hops, or she just didn't think, she didn't think it was as far as it was. But yeah, she landed on Raquel, but they didn't land on the table. They just landed in front of the table. And then the crowd got crazy because the table won the victory. So let's just say,
You stupid.
hit the button on that. Shit happens. I laughed, but I'm glad everybody's okay. Because that could have ended very awkwardly. Glad everybody's okay. Shotzi gets the win. After that, the match kind of just fell flat. They went home. Shotzi got the win. Crowd really didn't care for this, but it is what it is. Shotzi was backstage after this talking to Shayna Baszler. Shayna was basically like, listen, man, Ronda's going to kick your ass. She's going to choke you out or break your arm, or you've earned a broken leg. And she was like, Ronda's never fought anybody like me before. And I'm like,
You stupid.
Nope.
didn't she beat you in a beat the clock challenge? Come on, guys. We got to write better shit. Come on, y'all. I didn't forget about that. But then she says, you got so much stuff to say to Ronda. Tell around and tell it to her. She turned around. Ronda was there. And then Shayna Baszler hit her with the, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And that was all she wrote.
You activated my trap card.
Heel Ronda Rousey is the best Ronda Rousey because Ronda's legit. And Ronda does a good job of she does a good job of just mocking people and telling them, oh, you think you're going to win? Badass Ronda, heel Ronda is the best Ronda. That's the Ronda everybody should be looking forward to seeing. Then we have Ricochet having a backstage talk, and Walter, aka Gunther, came up and said, I hope you win with all your might. Fight with all your heart so I can beat you again. Ooh, burn. We like Gunther. Gunther's great. We had a Smackdown World Cup Tournament, round 1, Braun Strowman versus Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal came back and he said, listen, I missed you guys too, as he got ceremoniously booed. And then he got beat really, really quick by a running power slam. And then we had Hit Row. They were out there and they were going to fight Legado del Fantasma, and I think B-Fab and Zelina were supposed to fight. But we had a...
Surprise, motherfucker.
The Viking Raiders are back, everybody.
Perfect.
And they brought Sarah Logan with them with the freshly shaved head and black makeup, looking badass, looking like some badass Vikings. And they're smashing dudes. And they smashed Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma. If you're thinking in a gutterly way, get your mind out of the gutter.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know what I mean when I say they got smashed, they got beat up. So, the Viking Raiders are back, and I like this. If they are portrayed like they were supposed to be portrayed in NXT as two badass dudes that put on kick-ass matches, and now they've got Sarah Logan adding this whole different supernatural Viking piece to it, I'm all for it, because the Viking Raiders are very, very good at what they do. You don't believe me? Go watch Viking Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black on NXT TV, and you tell me the Viking Raiders aren't awesome. Get the hell out of here. So that was your Smackdown, everybody. Good show. Can't go wrong. Nothing wrong here. Now let's move on to Rampage. Rampage, everybody. Opening match. Brian Cage versus Dante Martin. We got a lot going on. Brian Cage is very, very athletic for a man that size and that jacked. So they put on a great match. The show didn't open up with this, but I'll get to that. This is the first actual match. Brian Cage got the win, and he will now be moving on in this tournament. And that's great. But it opened with Rampage opened with Jungle Boy and Christian and Luchasaurus in the ring talking junk before the Full Gear match that's going to happen with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. And Luchasaurus and him will be fighting in a steel cage. And Luchasaurus got the better of him in this exchange, chokeslamming him on the chair, which had to suck in real life. So, after that came the Brian Cage and Dante Martin match. Then we had Bandito versus Rush. Bandito, who is all elite, by the way. Bandito got the win via roll-up because Johnny Hungy came out with a distraction, which was really good. I like this. Roosh is great. Johnny Hungy is great. Bandito is great. Nothing wrong here. Nyla Rose fought Kayla Sparks in a squash match, basically hitting Jade with her hitting Kayla with Jade's finisher and beat her with Jaded. Jade Cargill then came down and hit her with a pump kick, sent her flying out of the ring. She came down, beat everybody up. The security stopped them from fighting further, and Jade and the baddies came down and stood tall. So maybe now she'll get her belt back before full gear when they fight for it. Then we had the Orange One versus Lee Johnson. The Orange One sits here and he gets the victory with Beach Break. So Lee Johnson is very good. We had Danhausen threatening to take people's teeth away. Danhausen's great. Lee Johnson does look a little bit more jacked. He is an excellent professional wrestler. He should be on TV more. If not Dynamite, because we know there's a lot going on there, at least he should be on Dark. Oh, not Dark. My bad.
You stupid.
He should be on Rampage more. Listen, if you can't get these guys on Dynamite, put them on Rampage. Put them in something meaningful, which they did here, which I really liked. So, this was all she wrote. This was great. Good solid Rampage, good solid Smackdown. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I am out. Check out the socials one more time. If you did not, if you don't know, now you know. Hit the like button. Like I said, my video on Dynamite will be out tomorrow. Everybody be safe out here in New York City and around the world. I am out. Peace.
Dom DeMarco.